In this video, we'll explore a fundamental aspect of JavaScript. Functions are actually objects. We've been treating functions as values, and now we'll see why. They're special objects that have properties and methods just like any other object. So let's take a look at an example. Here I have a function add, and I'm using typeof to check the type of add. If you run this code, the typeof operator returns function, which seems straightforward, but here's the thing. We never define function as one of JavaScript's data types. In reality, functions in JavaScript are objects, especially function objects. The typeof operator returns function as a convenience, but under the hood, functions are objects with a special behavior. This is why functions can be stored in variables, passed as arguments, and have properties and methods. Since functions are objects, you can actually create them using a constructor just like other objects. So this is going to be odd, but here's an example of it. I'm creating a function called multiply, and I'm creating it by calling a constructor function with capital F and the new keyword. And what I'm providing here is the parameter names and the function body. This creates a real function that we can call. It even reports as type. So let's run this code. You can see the type of multiply is function, and when you call it with the parameter, it returns a value to you. While this is possible, and it might even be useful in some dynamic programming scenarios, you're unlikely to see this in real-world code. Function declarations and expressions are much more common and readable. So I advise against using this style of declaring functions. Now, let me also show you that given that functions are objects, they actually have attributes and other methods or other functions attached to them. For example, here is our code, and again, it's our add function. You can go and access the name of the function through the name property. If you ask the length of the function, it gives you the number of its parameters. And if you do something like to a string, then it will stringify the implementation of that function and it will return it to you. These things are probably not as common to be used when you write program, but they are useful if you're building application to help you debugging your code and monitoring your application. Okay, so we learned that functions in JavaScript are special objects called function objects. While typeof returns function, functions are actually objects that can be created with constructors and have properties and methods. Understanding that functions are objects help explain why they can be treated as values throughout your code. Having said that, this is a legacy feature of the language, and you should not be using the function constructor to create your function. And it's very unlikely that you see code like this in real-world applications.